Hi, my name is Jonah, and I want to introduce myself to the world. I am a mortal learning to become a god. I started this channel to document my climb into godhood. In my channel stream, you'll get to know me and what I'm all about. During my streams, I'll be first learning Rust, the programming language, because as a god, I need to learn how to create and turn the imaginary into reality. You may be wondering why Rust and why programming. I love to code, and I have always wanted to learn Rust. The universe is screaming at me to learn Rust. One, because of the future of computing might be dependent on Rust because of its memory safety built into the language. This will be very important when quantum computing starts to come out and lots of your data will be easy to decrypt. Two, I want to make a game-based app using Rust. We will get into that later once I finish this book. I'm also a League of Legends player. Just started the new season and climbed out of silver to gold 4. I love a good climb. My main is Zoe. I play her because I love how she can nuke someone from orbit. Also, I love how spell shards are all over the ground after a team fight. Just seeing 3 different flash shards get me excited. I'll be playing other games, but League is my de-stressor. Please follow me on Twitch and YouTube. My Twitch account is called God_Jonah. My YouTube account is called Jonah the God. All one word. Just chill or roast me. League has built my thick skin, so if you can't do worse than a League player, you might as well vibe with me. And with that said, I'm happy to meet you. Okay, let's first start with, let's get into this programming. Oops. Let's get into programming first. I'm just gonna put myself here. All right. So, we will be learning Rust from this book I found online. It's a free book. It's here doc.rust-lang.org/book. I'm using this book because the people that made Rust and worked with Rust, put this all together. Oops. So they're the best people to learn from. I'm gonna be reading this book out loud and going through all the programming parts through it. Troubleshooting, debugging, all of that. I did start learning from this already. I got through the first chapter, but I stopped because, let's be honest, programming is boring. And that's kind of why I'm doing this stream. I just want to try to make it a little bit more entertaining for myself. If you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments below or anything. Let me know if you have any suggestions on the best way to learn Rust. But I think this is the best way. Learning a good book, learning the basics. And you might be thinking like, oh, can't AI just do all this for you? Yes, AI could do all this for me, but I like to first know what I'm doing and then tell AI later like what I want it to do, because now I understand what it should be doing. And I don't know, it's just how my brain works. I am an AI lover, so don't get me wrong. Like, I will probably use some AI, but like I also like to be a good project manager and know what the heck is going on. All right. I guess we could just read the introduction. Let's start with the introduction. Welcome to the Rust Programming Language, an introductory book about Rust. The Rust programming language helps you write faster, more reliable software. High-level ergonomics and low-level control are often at odds in programming language design. Rust challenges that conflict through balancing powerful technical capacity and a great developer experience. Rust gives you the option to control low-level details such as memory usage without all the hassle traditionally associated with such control. Who Rust is for? Rust is ideal for many people for a variety of reasons. Let's look at a few of the most important groups. Teams of developers. Rust is proving to be a productive tool for collaborating among large teams of developers with varying levels of system programming knowledge. Low-level code is prone to various subtle bugs, which in most other languages can only be caught through extensive testing and careful code review by experienced developers. In Rust, the compiler plays a gatekeeper role by refusing to compile code with these elusive bugs, including concurrency bugs. By working alongside the compiler, the team can spend its time focusing on the program's logic rather than chasing down bugs. Rust also brings contemporary developers tools to the system programming world. Cargo, the included dependency manager and build tool, makes adding, compiling, and managing dependencies painless, and consistent across the Rust ecosystem. Sorry. The Rust FMT formatting tool ensures a consistent coding. Give me 1 second. I just noticed something. Sorry. This is the first stream, so just a slight hiccup. Alright, back to where we were. The Rust FMT formatting tool ensures a consistent coding style across developers. The Rust language server powers integrated development environment, IDE, integration for code completion, and inline error messages. By using these and other tools in the Rust ecosystem, developers can be productive while writing system-level code. Rust is for students and those who are interested in learning about system concepts. Using Rust, many people have learned about topics like operating system development. The community is very welcoming and happy to answer students' questions. Through efforts such as this book, the Rust teams want to make system concepts more accessible to more people, especially those new to programming. Hundreds of companies, large and small, use Rust in production for a variety of tasks, including command line tools, web services, DevOps tooling, embedded devices, audio and video analysis, and transcoding, cryptocurrencies, bioinformatics, search engines, Internet of Things applications, machine learning, and even major parts of the Firefox web browser. Open source developers. Rust is for people who want to build the Rust programming language, community developer tools, and libraries. We love to have you contribute to the Rust language. People who value speed and stability. Rust is for people who crave speed and stability in the language. By speed, we mean both how quickly Rust code can run and the speed at which Rust lets you write programs. The Rust compilers checks ensure stability through feature additions and refactoring. This is in contrast to the brittle legacy code and languages without these checks. My fault. Checks ensure stability through feature addition and refactoring. This is in contrast to the brittle legacy. I lost my place. Rust compiler checks ensure stability through feature additions and refactoring. This is in contrast to the brittle legacy code in languages without these checks, which developers are often afraid to modify. By striving for zero-cost abstractions, higher-level features that compile to lower-level code as fast as code written manually, Rust endeavors to make safe code be safe, fast code as well. The Rust language hopes to support many other users as well. Those mentioned here are merely some of the biggest stakeholders. Overall, Rust's greatest ambition is to eliminate the trade-offs that programmers have accepted for decades by providing safety and productivity, speed and ergonomics. Give Rust a try and see if its choices work for you. Who this book is for. This book assumes that you've written code in another programming language. That's me. But it doesn't make any assumptions about which one. We've tried to make the material broadly accessible to those from a wide variety of programming backgrounds. We don't spend a lot of time talking about what programming is or how to think about it. If you're entirely new to programming, you would be better served by reading a book that specifically provides introduction to programming. Ooh, I should probably drop this. And I'm like streaming to YouTube as well, so like streaming. I can't use this. I could use it. Haha. All right, cool. We don't spend a lot of time talking about what programming is or how to think about it. If you're entirely new to programming, you would be better served by reading a book that specifically provides an introduction to programming. Yes, this isn't a book for everybody. I program a lot, and I'm not the best coder. I'm gonna admit, but like, you know, this is a great way to become the best coder. I'm trying to be a god, right? So let's learn from the book. Read the book. How to use this book. In general, this book assumes that you're reading it in sequence from front to back. Later chapters build on concepts in earlier chapters, and earlier chapters might not delve into details on a particular topic, but will revisit the topic in a later chapter. You'll find two kinds of chapters in this book: concept chapters and project chapters. In concept chapters, you'll learn about an aspect of Rust. In project chapters, we'll build small programs together, applying what you've learned so far. Chapter 2, Chapter 12, and Chapter 21 are project chapters. The rest are concept chapters. Chapter 1 explains how to install Rust, how to write a Hello World program, and how to use Cargo, Rust Package Manager, and Build Tool. Chapter 2 is a hands-on introduction to writing a program in Rust. Having you build up a number guessing game. Here we cover concepts at a high level, and later chapters will provide additional detail. If you want to get your hands dirty right away, Chapter 2 is the place for that. If you're a particularly meticulous learner, I'm trying to be a meticulous learner, who prefers to learn every detail before moving on to the next, you might want to skip Chapter 2 and go straight to Chapter 3, which covers Rust features that are similar to those of other programming languages. Then you can return to Chapter 2. And we're going at one at a time. When you like to work on a project applying the details you've learned in Chapter 4, you'll learn about... What just happened? Give me 1 second as I reconnect to... here we are. I don't know what that was. Where were we? Chapter 2 is a hands-on introduction. Chapter 1 explains how to install Rust, how to write a Hello World program. Number guessing game. Here we cover concepts at a high level, and later chapters will provide additional details. If you want to get your hands dirty right away, Chapter 2 is the place for that. If you're a particularly meticulous learner who prefers to learn every detail before moving on to the next, you might want to skip Chapter 2 and go straight to Chapter 3, which covers Rust features that are similar to those of other programming languages. Then you can return to Chapter 2 when you'd like to work on a project applying the details you've learned. In Chapter 4, you'll learn about Rust's ownership system. I think this is exactly what we need, ownership right here. This is very much why we're learning Rust. Chapter 5 discusses structs and methods. Chapter 6 covers enums, match expressions, and the if, let, and let else control flow constructs. Yeah, and you can never get away from if and else. You'll use structs and enums to make custom types. In Chapter 7, you'll learn about Rust module system and about privacy rules for organizing your code and its public application programming interface, API. Chapter 8, I'm not really good at making APIs. I'm more better at editing APIs, but I like learning APIs all over again, just to forget it later if I don't use it. Use it or lose it. Chapter 8 discusses some common collection data structure that are the standard library provides: vectors, strings, and hash maps. I actually don't know what a hash map is, but we're learning together. This is a learning channel. We're going to learn that all together. Chapter 9 explores Rust error handling philosophy and techniques. Chapter 10 digs into generic traits and lifetimes, which give you the power to define code that applies to multiple types. Chapter 11 is all about testing, which even with Rust safety guarantee is necessary to ensure that your program's logic is correct. And Chapter 12 will build our own implementation of a subset of functionality from the grep command line tool that searches for text within files. For this, we'll use many of the concepts we discussed in the previous chapters. Chapter 13 explores closures and iterators, features of Rust that come from functional programming language. Just in Chapter 14, we'll examine Cargo in more depth and talk about best practices for sharing your libraries with others. Chapter 15 discusses smart pointers that the standard library provides and the traits that enable their functionality. In Chapter 16, we'll walk through different models of concurrent programming and talk about how Rust helps you program in multiple threads fearlessly. I like that. I want to be fearless. In Chapter 17, we build on that by exploring Rust's async and await syntax, along with tasks, features, and streams, and the lightweight concurrency model they enable. Chapter 18 looks at how Rust idioms compare to object-oriented programming principles you might be familiar with. Chapter 19 is a reference on patterns and pattern matching, which are powerful ways of expressing ideas throughout Rust programs. Chapter 20 contains a smorgasbord of advanced topics of interest, including unsafe Rust, macros, and more about lifetimes, traits, types, functions, and closures. In Chapter 21, we'll complete a project in which we'll implement a low-level, multi-threaded web server. Finally, some app indexes contain useful information about the language in a more reference-like format. Appendix A covers Rust keywords. Appendix B covers Rust operators and symbols. Appendix C covers derivable traits provided by the standard library. Appendix D covers useful development tools, and Appendix E explains Rust editor additions. In Appendix F, you can find translation of the book, and Appendix G We'll cover how Rust is made and what nightly Rust is. There's no wrong way to read this book. If you want to skip ahead, go for it. You might have to jump back to earlier chapters if you experience any confusion, but do whatever works for you. We're gonna do it chapter one by one because that's just how I learn. I don't know how you learn, but I mean, I'm gonna upload every chapter as much as possible so you can skip around yourself. An important part of the process of learning Rust is learning how to read the error messages the compiler displays. These will guide you toward working code. As such, we'll provide many examples that don't compile along with the error messages the compiler will show you in each situation. Note that if you enter and run a random example and maybe not compile, make sure you read the surrounding text to see whether the example you're trying to run is meant to error. In most situations, will lead you to the correct version of any code that doesn't compile. Ferris will also help you distinguish code that isn't meant to work. This code does not compile. This code panics. This code does not produce the desired behavior. Most situations will lead you to the correct version of any code that doesn't compile. All right, that was introduction. Let's go to the next one. All right, we're gonna get started. You're getting started, all right? Let's start your Rust journey. There's a lot to learn, but every journey starts somewhere. In this chapter, we'll discuss installing Rust on Linux, Mac OS, and Windows, writing a program that prints hello world using Cargo, Rust Package Manager, and build system. Great. That sounds great. All right, so before we start, I am running Windows SL, WSL. This is a subsystem for Linux on Windows. To get this, you would need to go onto the Microsoft Store. And type in Ubuntu. And we're running Ubuntu 24. You could use other ones. The reason I'm using WSL, not like a Mac or whatever, that's just how I program. I program with WSL. You can also use server shell probably with Rust. I love WSL. It's just neat. Neat for me, neat for you. You could do that. You don't have to follow me. If you're an experienced programmer, you probably already know other ways to do stuff like this. Do it for whatever you're using. If you're using a MacBook, do it for the MacBook version, Linux version, Windows version, whatever. Doesn't bother me. I'm also using Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code has a WSL integration, so once you get WSL running up, make sure your Visual Studio Code is on Ubuntu 24 or whatever you're using. It's up to you. All right, back to the programming. All right, so let's start this. The first step is to install Rust. We'll download Rust through Rust Up, command line tool for managing Rust versions and associated tools. You'll need internet connections for the download. If you prefer not to use Rust Up for some reason, please see the other Rust installation methods page for more options. Let's just go see what other ways to install Rust Up, standalone installers. I'm just quick browsing this just to see if there's something that I should know, but part of me kind of don't. Let's just go through it from how I'm doing it. See if it works. If it doesn't work, well, troubleshoot together. We'll troubleshoot together. The following steps install the latest stable version of the Rust compiler. Rust stability guarantees and ensures that all the examples in the book that compile will continue to compile. With newer Rust versions, the output might differ slightly between versions because Rust often improves error messages and warning. In other words, any newer stable version of Rust you install using these steps should work as expected with the content of this book. Command line notations. In this chapter and throughout the book, we'll show some commands using the terminal lines that you should enter in the terminal. All start with $. You don't need to type the dollar. Yeah, you don't need to type the $. Character is the command line prompt shown to indicate the start of each command. Lines that don't start with $. Typically show the output of the previous command. Additionally, PowerShell specific examples will use greater than rather than $. If you're using Linux or Mac OS, open a terminal and enter the following command. All right, so I'm using WSL, which is Linux. I think I could just, as you can see, I just set this up. Like, this is a Totally new user. All right, what is it asking us to do? Oh, it has a little copy button. That's nice. All right, let's just copy it and see if it works. Like, sometimes. Oh, it just said not to do the dollar sign. I copied the whole thing. Well, I don't know why it did that to me. It's probably because I didn't copy it myself. All right, cool. The cargo rusts up, and other commands will be added to cargo's bin directly located at blah 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 blah. You can uninstall at any time. Rust up, self uninstall, current installation options. Use standard. Just press enter and customize installation. We're just gonna let's see if they have command downloads. Script starts using install Rust up tool, which installs the latest stable version of Rust. You might be prompted for your password to install successful. Fine line will appear. Rust is installed now. Great. All right, so we're just gonna press enter, and this is gonna Rust do all the Rust stuff for us. As we wait, we just vibe, chill, wait, see what's up. So I'm not like waiting for these things. These things are kind of cool. I don't know what any of it's doing. To me, it's just magic. That's what's so cool about programming. It's just magic, superpowers, and learning Rust. Oh, it's done. We got it. Rust is installed now. Great. All right, cool. That's great. You will also need a linker, which is a program that Rust uses to join its compiled outputs into one file. Luckily, you already have one. If you get linker errors, you should install a C compiler, which will typically include a linker. A C compiler is also useful because some common Rust packages depend on C. Coding will need a C compiler. On macOS, you can get a C compiler by running Xcode Select. We don't have that. Linux users should generally install GCC or Clang according to the distribution documents. For example, if you use Ubuntu, you can install the Build Essential package. Oh. Well, we are on WSL, which is a version of Ubuntu. So let's go figure out how to do that. Cool, nothing crazy came up on my browser. How to install Build Essential package for Ubuntu. Oh, let's look at the AI stuff. All right, you can open a terminal by pressing the control. Blah 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 blah. Sudo apt update. Okay. Like, yeah, we're on Windows, but we're using I'm using WSL, so I'm following WSL guidelines, or Ubuntu guidelines, not the Windows version, because this is like a virtual machine on your Windows machine, if that makes sense. That's what we're doing. And now we can install Build Essentials. All right, cool. Gotta love the internet. Yeah, we're gonna continue. We want this. This is us. This is for us. By us. We asked for this. Isn't this so cool? I don't know. I've been programming for a while, and I still love seeing this type of stuff. NPM packages, cargo packages, just packages. We're just getting a delivery sent from mother. We're asking mother for our packages. All right. So if you have Windows, this is what you would do. Like Windows, go to Rustnag. I also have the link in the description. It should be in the description. But go to this link, and you should see where you should be installing Rust, and maybe reading along. Right? Why don't you read along with me? Apprentice. I'm gonna name you Apprentice. You're my apprentice. We're both learning, but you're below me because I'm God. All right. Follow the instructions for installing Rust. At some point in the installation, you'll be prompted to install Visual Studio. This provides a linker. Native libraries need to compile programs. The rest of this book uses commands that work in both CMD.exe and PowerShell. There are specific differences. We'll explain which to use. So check whether you have Rust installed correctly. We're just gonna copy this because last time this thing lied to us and gave us a dollar sign and made us look pathetic. What am I seeing? Command Rust C not found, but can be installed with sudo snap install rust up. Sudo apt install rust C. Sudo apt install rust up. Let's do this one. Let's see if that works. Sometimes you just gotta like read what is it asking me to do, because clearly it doesn't even know what we're talking about. Silly computer. You know nothing of my work.
I'm gonna show you.
Oopsies. Why did I lose my I lost my my stream. All right, cool. Cool. All right, let's try this again. Nice. We got the version running. All right, cool. You should see the version number, commit hash, and commit date. See, go from a source Turbo. All right, yeah, we got a commit date. If you see this information, you have installed Rust Stuffy. If you don't see this information, check that Rust is in your path system. See, this is why I'm doing Linux. Linux using macro. I wonder if this works on WSL. Like, does this give me the path? Give me something. It looks like a whole bunch of garbage. Let's clear this for now. All right. Updating and uninstalling. Once Rust is installed through Rust Up, updating to a newly released version is easy. From your shell, run the following update scripts. Rust update. All right, let's try it. Let's see if this works. If we did everything right, it should just work. Does it work still? Why doesn't it work? All right. Let's run this too. This is the troubleshooting that we gotta get through. Yeah, we're just saying yes to anything at this point because we're desperate. We're desperate to get this to work. We just want to do one hello world and call it a day. Does it work now? Oh, we got an info. What does the book say? To uninstall Rust and Rust Up, run the following. All right, we're not trying to uninstall, but I think we're good. Reading the local documentation. The installation of Rust also includes a local copy of the documentation so that you can read it offline. Run Rust Up doc to open the local documentation in your browser. All right. We got the docs offline. We like offline. Offline is cool. Rust Up doc. Couldn't open browser. IO error. No such file or directory. This must be because of. Let's just go on PowerShell real quick. Do we have Rust Up on here? No, it doesn't work here. Yeah, this is my username, lowercase god, because I am trying to be a god. Maybe it doesn't work. We'll come back to this. If it doesn't, we probably don't need it to work right now. But it's cool. This book makes no assumption about what tools you use to alter Rust code, just about any text editor will get the job done. However, many text editors, integrated development environments, IDEs have built-in support for Rust. You can always find a fairly current list of many editors and IDEs on the tools page on the Rust website. What is this? Oopsie. New tab. Ooh, 3 tabs. I didn't want 3. I wanted 1. First class editor support, Rust Rover, Visual Studio, VS Code. We're VS Code people. Rust Analyzer. Oh, okay. Let's go to the store. Analyzer. Oh, here it is right here. Yeah, we trust this unknown person. Rustling. Oh yeah, we trust rustling.org. Look, 5.6 million people using this. Let me get our Rust Analyzer. There are a couple of things you might want to configure. Marking libraries such as read only. Add the following settings.json to mark Rust library sources as read only. Okay. Visit the docs. Mark done. Alright, I guess we got it. We got the Rust Analyzer in here. Nice, nice. Alright, let's go back to the book. Okay. Where are we? Rust website. Working offline with this book. In several examples, we will reuse Rust packages beyond the standard library. To work through those examples, you will either need to have an internet connection or to have downloaded those dependencies ahead of time. Download the dependencies ahead of time. You can run the following command, explaining what cargo is and what each of these commands does in detail later. Okay, let's see. If this doesn't work, you might have to do PowerShell. But I really want to do it in WSL. I think this works. I think that worked. Change directory. All right, let's see. Change directory. Get dependencies. Is this a thing? Are we? Hey, WSL for the win. All right, and we're gonna do a cargo add rand. To download dependencies ahead of time, you can run the following commands. We'll explain what cargo is. All right, cool. Just trying to remember what are we doing this for? Yes, mother. I would love to have package rand. This will cache the downloads for these packages, so you will not need to download them later. Once you have run this command, you do not need to keep the get dependencies folder. If you have run this command, you can use that offline flag with all cargo commands. The rest of the book to use these cache versions instead of attempting to use the network. That is good to know. All right, I think we're ready to start our first project. And as customary, we're gonna run the hello world. Now that you've installed Rust, it's time to write your first Rust program. It's traditional when learning a new language to write a little program that prints the text hello world. So we'll do the same here. Project directory setup. You'll start by making a directory to store your Rust code. It doesn't matter to Rust where your code lives, but for the exercise and projects in this book, we suggest making a projects directory and your home directory and keeping all your projects there. All right, let's. All right, so this is a new WSL instance. So we're just gonna make directory. Just gonna call it projects. Does that work? And we should say projects. Oh, there it is, projects right there. And then we're gonna change it in there and make directory hello world. Okay, cool. Change directory to projects. Make directory hello world. All right, change directory hello world, and then we're gonna change the directory into there. Cool. Tab. Gotta love tab, right? For Windows, CMD, enter this. Yeah, see this? We're not doing none of this. We're just doing good old Linux. Windows makes it all complicated. Stretch my neck real quick. All right. Rust program basics. Next, make a new source file and call it main.rs. Rust files always end with the .rs extension. If you're using more than one word in your file name, the convention is to use an underscore to separate. All right. File name main.rs. Save the file and go back to your file. Make file. I forget how the command line to make a file. How can I create? Give me a second. Oh, is it touch? Sounds kind of. sounds kind of sounds wrong to be called touch. That's probably why I don't use it. Main.rs. All right, so we should have a main.rs file. Cool. I'm gonna be learning some command lines together because sometimes I don't use command lines like that. All right, so it says to just rust in there, rust C main.rs. I love copy and paste. Main function not found in create main. Consider adding a main function to main.rs. Okay, you know what? We gotta do code dot. Code dot opens it in our. Does it work now? VS Code. Give me a second while I set this up. Usually all this works for me because I usually have my other users, but not this user. This user is a baby. It's a baby. It doesn't know anything. It's a baby. We're just installing Codot because I love it. To be honest, we don't even need to do this. Like, we could just open up VS Code and then open this project and then come in here. We could do all that. But why would we make it so easy? We can use Codot. Codot makes sure your WSL and your VS Code are tied together. But still, why would we do that? Why would we make it easy? 83%. There we go. So now they're saying Codot should just work. Code with the Windows substitute for Linux. Please install Visual Studio Code in Windows and uninstall the Linux version in WSL. You can then use the code command in the WSL terminal, just as you would in a normal command. Do you want to continue anyway? Please Visual Studio Code with the Windows. Please install Visual Studio Code in Windows and uninstall the Linux version in WSL. Now, I still want to continue. Let's see what happens. Did that work? It worked! It worked! Yes, I trust the authors. I'm the author. See, that's why I like programming. That feeling of, fuck it, it works. Save the file and go back to your... Oh, it's because we didn't do this. That's why it didn't... That's why it didn't work. We didn't read. Now open the main.rs file. All right, main.rs file is here. Copy, paste. Print hello world. All right, now let's run this code again. Oh, up. Let's clear it. Now let's run it. What does that mean? Let's go back to reading. What does the reading say? Maybe we don't need it to be this big. All right. And then it says to go see the file and go back to your terminal Windows on Linux or Mac. Enter the file commands to compile and run the file. So I guess the first thing was to compile it, and the second thing is to run it. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Hello world. We are alive. I should title this video "Hello World" because this is my hello world. In a way. On Windows, enter the command this /main instead of the /. Yeah, that always confused me with Windows. Why it does /? I never really looked into it. Regardless of your operating system, the string hello world should print to the terminal. Yep. We got that. We got hello world in the terminal. Hello world did print. Congratulations, you officially written a Rust program. Look at that, guys. Our first Rust program. I wonder if Mother's proud. The anatomy of a Rust program. Let's review this hello world. Program in detail. Here's the first piece of the puzzle. FN main. I'm gonna just call FN function and main. I've learned C++ before, but I got like a B and then never used it again. You know, use it or lose it. You know what they say. These lines define a function name main. Oh, look at that. We already knew what the FN stood for. Main. The main function is special. It is always the first code that runs in every executable Rust program. Here, the first line declares a function named main that has no parameters and returns nothing. If there were parameters, they would go inside the parentheses. The function body is wrapped in curly brackets. Rust requires curly brackets around all function bodies. It's good style to place the opening curly bracket on the same line as the function declaration, adding one space in between. Note, if you want to stick to a standard style across Rust projects, you can use an automatic formatter tool called Rust Format to format your code in a particular style. More on Rust Format in Appendix D. The Rust team has included this tool with the standard Rust distribution as Rusty is, so it should already be installed on your computer. The body of the main function holds the following code. I guess we were just run it with it, I guess. This line does all print line hello world. This line does all the work in this little program and print text to the screen. There are 3 important details to notice here. First, print line calls a Rust macro. Print line. I think C++ has that, or Python. I think Python might have print line, or it just has print. They're all the same, but once you read one, you read them all kinda. If it had called a function instead, it would be entered as print line without the exclamation mark. If it was calling a function first, print line exclamation called a Rust macro. If it had called a function instead, it would be entered as print line without the exclamation. You gotta remember that. Rust macros are a way to write code that generates code to extend Rust syntax, and we'll discuss them in more details in chapter 20. Damn, this goes deep. Chapter 20? We didn't even get through chapter 1. For now, you just need to know that using an exclamation mark means that you're calling a macro instead of a normal function, and that macros don't always follow the same rules as functions. Second, you see the hello world string? We pass the string as an argument to print line, and the string is printed to the screen. Third, we end the line with a semicolon. Semicolons. That's good. Good business there, semicolons. Which indicates that the expression is over and the next one is ready to begin. Most lines of Rust code end with a semicolon. Compilation and execution. You've just run a newly created program, so let's examine each step in the process. Before running a Rust program, you must compile it using the Rust compiler by entering the Rust C command and passing it the name of your source file, like this, rust c main.rs. If you have a C or C++ background, you'll notice that this is similar to GCC or Clang. Clang. After compiling successfully, GCC is for C. I was learning some C, but if you notice, Microsoft is like trying to get rid of all of C in C++. They're trying to convert all of Windows to Rust. So yeah, if you're watching this video, you're ahead of the curve, buddy. I'm proud of you. Proud of you for watching me. Proud of you for learning some Rust. I'm just proud of you in general. Hope you're having a great day. On Linux, Mac OS, and PowerShell on Windows, you can see the executable by entering the ls command in your shell. ls main.rs. Oh yeah. Then we got new things going on. Oh, look at that. We got a main and a main.rs. Cool. On Linux and Mac OS, you'll see 2 files with PowerShell on Windows. See this. See all this? I don't like it. It's just a lot of gook. Like, who's reading this? Who do you expect to read this, Microsoft? File that you would see using CMD was CMD on Windows. You would enter the following. So if you're on Windows, do this command. I strongly urge you to go on WSL just because it's just nice. This shows the source code file with the .rs extension, the executable file. Main.rs .exe on Windows, but main on all other platforms. And when using Windows, a file containing debugging information with the .pdb extension. From here, you run the main or main.exe file like this, /main. If your main.rs is your hello world program, this line prints hello world to your terminal. If you're more familiar with a dynamic language such as Ruby, Python, or JavaScript, you might not be used to compiling and running a program as separate steps. Rust is an ahead of time compiled language, meaning you can compile a program and give the executable to someone else, and they can run it even without having Rust installed. Isn't that crazy? That's so cool, bro. Like, it's we're learning spells here, and I'm happy to be here. What a time to be alive. And they can run it without having Rust installed. If you give someone a .rb, .py, or .js file, they need to have Ruby, Python, or JavaScript implementation installed. That's the old way, respectively. But in those languages, you only need one command to compile and run your program. Everything is a trade-off in language design. Just compiling with Rust C is fine with simple programs. But as your project grows, you'll want to manage all the options and make it easy to share your code. Next, we'll introduce you to the Cargo tool, which will help you write real-world Rust programs. Okay, now we're on chapter 1.3. Almost done with chapter 1, guys. Proud of you if you made it this far. I appreciate you. Hello Cargo. Cargo is Rust's build system and package manager. Most Rust stations use this tool to manage their Rust projects because Cargo handles a lot of tasks for you, such as building your code, downloading the libraries your code depends on, and building those libraries. We call the libraries that your code needs dependencies. The simplest Rust programs, like the one we've written so far, don't have any dependencies. If you had built a Hello World project with Cargo, it would only use the part of Cargo that handles building your code. As you write more complex Rust programs, you'll add dependencies, and if you start a project using Cargo, adding dependencies will be much easier to do. Because the vast majority of Rust projects use Cargo, the rest of this book assumes that you're using Cargo too. Cargo comes installed with Rust. If you use the official installers discussed in the installation section, if you install Rust through some other means, check whether Cargo is installed by entering the following in your terminal. All right, this makes or breaks us. Like, we should just have this. Look at that. I love you, Linux. If you see a version number, you have it. If you see an error such as command not found, look at the documentation for your method of installation. To determine how to install Cargo separately, creating a project with Cargo. Let's create a new project using Cargo and look at how it differs from our original Hello World project. Navigate back to your project directory or wherever you decide to store your code. Then on any operating system, run the following. All right. Let's do this. CD backpack. Cargo. Let's type it out. Sometimes it's better. Just type stuff out, so it could be muscle memory. Ooh, look at that. Now we've typed in ls. We have a Hello Cargo. Look, doesn't that sound better than what did we do last? Touch. 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 Oh my god, that's hilarious. That's where did they touch you? Sorry, inappropriate. Mine. Back to what we're doing. The first command creates a new directory and project called Hello Cargo. We named our project Hello Cargo, and Cargo creates its files in a directory of the same name. Go into the Hello Cargo directory. All right, let's go into Hello Cargo. There's two hellos, so tab here, and we broke it. Oh no, we just typed in cdd. Scared me. Hello car. We're in here. Directly in list of files, you'll see. All right, let's see what's in here. Cargo.toml and source. Oh, we're getting to the development. Development mindset is the word I'm looking for. All right. It has also initialized. Go into Hello Cargo directory and list of files. You see that Cargo has generated two files and one directory for us. Cargo.toml TOML. I'll just call it TOML, but TOML file, and a source file, src directory with a main.rs file inside. Oh, let's go on to let's see what's in the src. Yep, we got a main in here. And it's also initialized a new Git repository along a new Git repository. We have a Git repository. we're ahead of the game. Like, we can just like clone this to our Git repo. If you don't know what Git is, it's like GitHub. It's where people put your projects online, and you can access it from anywhere just by having your GitHub login and stuff like that. We will do some Git stuff later, maybe. No promises. We're already doing some Git stuff, so take that for a grain of salt. It's also initialized Git repository along with a Git ignore file. Git files won't be generated if you run cargo new with an existing Git repository. You can override this behavior by using cargo new --vcs equal Git. Note, Git is a common version control system. You could change cargo new to use a different version control system or no version control system by using the --vcs flag. Run cargo new help to see the available options. Okay, let's open cargo TOML. We're gonna do a code dot here. Yeah, this is exactly why we got code dot. Yes, run it. Give me my file. I don't know why. Oh, I see the issue here. Oh wait, it's a trust authors. Why isn't this running in? Whatever. It works regardless. All right. Cargo TOML. We got hello cargo 0.1.0 edition equals 2024. Give me 1 second. I don't understand why it's not opening it up as a WSL. Is it because of this? Do you want to continue anyway? Install Visual Studio Code in Windows and uninstall the Linux version in WSL. I don't understand why. I've never really seen this before, but let's just look it up because it's not really giving us the way I like it. Oh, look at that. Someone already complained about it. What you want me to do? You want to delete this. Terminal. Where are we? Change directory projects. Change directory hello cargo. Oh, nice. We just had to restart our terminal. Cool. Everything is in order. Everything's in order the way we like it. We want to see this blue Ubuntu. That makes a difference. That makes a difference. All right. So back to the thing. This file is in the Tom's obvious minimal language. Tom's obvious. Tom is always getting all the credit. All the credit from Tom. Ugh. All right. All right. Format, which is Cargo's configuration format. The first line, package, is a section heading that indicates that the following statements are configuring a package. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, as we add more information to this file, we'll add other sections. The next 3 lines see the configuration information Cargo needs to compile your program, the name, the version, and the addition of Rust to use. Version, we're in 2024. As we add more information, addition of Rust to use. We'll talk about the addition key and AppendXZ. The last line, dependencies, is the start of a section for you to list any of your project dependencies. In Rust, packages of code are referred to as crates. We won't need any other crates for this project, but we will in the first project in chapter 2. So we'll use this dependency section then. Now open source main.rs and take a look. Take a look. This is where we are. Now let me close these two. This is where we should be. All right. Source main.rs. Take a look. All right. Let's just put this to the side. Nice. Nice. Cargo has generated a hello world program for you, just like the one we wrote in listing 1 out of 1 so far. Difference between our projects and the project Cargo generated are that Cargo placed the code in the source directory, and we have a Cargo TOML configuration file in the top directory. Cargo expects your source file to live inside the source directory. Inside the source directory. Sorry, I keep losing my place. The top level project directory is just for README files, license information, configuration files, and anything else not related to your code. Using Cargo helps you organize your projects. There's a place for everything, and everything is in its place. If you start a project that doesn't use Cargo, as we did with the Hello World project, you can convert it to a project that does use Cargo. Move the project code into the source directory and create an appropriate Cargo TOML file. One easy way to get that cargo.toml file is to run cargo init, which will create it for you automatically. Building and running a Cargo project. Now let's look at what's different when we build and run the Hello World program with Cargo from your Hello Cargo directory. Build your project by entering the following command. Cargo build. Do we just type cargo build? All right, let's do it. Cargo gadget go. Ooh. Okay. This command creates an executable file in target debug hello cargo or target debug hello cargo.exe on Windows rather than in your current directory. Because the default build is a debug build, Cargo puts the binary in a directory named debug. You can run an executable with this command. We need to, let's try typing it out so we could try to remember stuff like this. Hello car go. Hello world. Woo! That's how you debug. If all goes well, Hello World should print to the terminal running Cargo build for the first time. Also causes Cargo to create a new file at the top level, cargo.lock. Yeah, I see it. I see the cargo.lock. This file keeps track of the exact versions of dependencies in your project. This project doesn't have dependencies, so the file is a bit sparse. You won't ever need to change this file manually. Cargo manages this concept for you. We just built a project with Cargo build and ran it with target debug hello cargo. But we can also use Cargo run to compile the code and then run the result and execute it all in one command. Why don't you start with that? It's like npm run. I love npm. Nice. It does everything for us. Compile the code and then run the result and execute it all in one command. Using Cargo run is more convenient than having to remember to run Cargo build and then use the whole path to the binary. So much developers use Cargo. Yeah, exactly. Like, lazy. We're all lazy. We're all lazy out here. We have rebuilt. Notice at this time we didn't see output indicating that Cargo was compiling hello cargo. Cargo figured out that the files hadn't changed, so it didn't rebuild but just ran the binary. If you had modified your source code, Cargo would have rebuilt the project before running it, and you would have seen this output. Cargo also provides a command called cargo check. This command quickly checks your code, make sure it compiles, but doesn't produce an executable. Let's try it. Cargo check. Does everything look good here? Cool. Why would you not want an executable? Often cargo check is much faster than cargo build because it skips the steps of producing an executable. If you continue checking your work while writing the code, using cargo check will speed up the process of letting you know if your project is still compiling. As such, many Rust stations run cargo check periodically as they write their program to make sure it compiles. Then they run cargo build when they're ready to use the executable. Let's recap what we've learned so far about cargo. We can create a project using cargo new. We can build a project using cargo build. We can build and run a project in one step using cargo run. We can build a project without producing a binary to check for errors using cargo check. Instead of saving the rest of the build in the same directory as our code, cargo stores it in target debug directory. An additional advantage of using cargo is that the commands are the same no matter which operating system you're working on. So at this point, we'll no longer provide specific instructions for Linux and macOS versus Windows. Alright, so now we're all caught up. We should just be running the same commands if you're on Windows, Mac, or Linux. Good for everybody. Building for release. When your project is finally ready for release, you can use cargo build -- release to compile it with optimizations. This command will create an executable in target / release instead of target / debug. The optimizations makes your Rust code run faster, but turning them on lengthens the time it takes for your program to compile. This is why there are two different profiles, one for development when you want to rebuild quickly and often, and another for building the final program you give to a user that won't be rebuilt repeatedly and that will run as fast as possible. If you're benchmarking your code's running time, be sure to run cargo build release and benchmark with the executable and target release. Leveraging cargo's conventions. With simple projects, cargo doesn't provide a lot of value over just using Rust C, but it will prove its worth as your programs become more intricate. Once programs grow to multiple files or need a dependency, it's much easier to let cargo coordinate the build. Even though the Hello Cargo project is simple, it now uses much of the real tooling you'll use in the rest of your Rust career. In fact, to work on any existing projects, you can use the following commands to check out the code using git. Change to that project directory and build. Git clone example.org, some project, cd, some project, cargo build. Very simple, very easy, very Rust. You're already off to a great start on your Rust journey. In this chapter, you learned how to install the latest stable version of Rust using RustUp, update to a newer Rust version, open locally installed documentation, write and run a Hello World program using Rust C directly, create and run a new project using the conventions of cargo. This is a great time to build a more substantial program to get used to reading and writing Rust code. So in chapter 2, we'll build a guessing game program. If you would rather start by learning how common program concepts work in Rust, see chapter 3 and then return to chapter 2. Alright guys, that is the end of chapter 1. Thanks for being here with me. Thanks for reading along. Now for my reward, personally, for just doing this in general, I am going to go play League of Legends. Alright, that's the end of the first part of my stream. Now time to go set up League of Legends stream. Alright, cool. Now you guys can hear me. League of Legends is loading up. I don't know if you guys did this game. I'm thinking about doing it, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Just increase the volume real quick for League. Okay. All right, guys. Right now we're like let me change the category. How much LP do we got? We have 11 LP. Now let's what am I doing? Now we gotta update this. Forgot to change this to gaming. Okay. Everything is looking good. Good. And we're on rank. Alright, let's get into the vibes.
We have people from.
I hope everyone's having a great day today. I sure am. Doing everything I ever wanted. Chilling, relaxing. Outside. Wow. You already know we're picking Zoe. Hammerdinger. I've seen Hammerdinger in a while. Hope you're having a great day. Boo. 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 Dude. What was Bear Blossom Springs Ari? Hammerdinger bye. Got no coffee. All right. Ari fights are pretty simple. Just don't let them get ahead. She can be a little difficult sometimes. It shouldn't be too difficult, especially when she gets help. This is my first gold rank of the season. Gold game of the season. I'm really looking forward to it. Just following. Oh, look at we found them. All right, guys, let's lock in. Let's get these first 3 minions. Notice you cannot have string drop. popped up in front of me. Boo, doo, doo, doo. Oh, caught her. Surprise, really. Didn't think I was gonna hit. Do 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 do. Ooh. Can't enchant me like that. She got me. She got me. Stole my heart. Gotta hit him where it counts. Ooh. Get away from me. Do do do. Do 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 do. He's still in the bush. I usually like to leave at 1200. 1200 golds. That way I could get stuff, or at least push this wave out a little bit more. Especially since she got TP. She looks upset. Why are you chasing me? Go find your own. You can't E unless you got hit, and it took forever to just hit her. She wasn't in range. You could also do the extended E. Those happen sometimes. See, I tried to E right there. And it didn't hit. It didn't even trigger. I worded this. Yeah, sure, dude. More to wear though. I just wasted her ulti. Money, free monies, it's always good. She's in the crowd, I'm looking for her again. Got no mana. They say you're not supposed to let them return. Can't even reach her. I'm on top. I don't know what's going on the top. But hopefully she doesn't scare her.
What grab here? 10 in the morning. Late breakfast, early lunch. Are you okay?
Ooh, she almost died on me. Yeah, and they always appreciate a good gank. At least I got ignite on him. Give me some boots. And a pinky. I got 2 pinks. Whatever. Oh, look at that. That's why you have to have 6th sense. Like, 6th sense will let you know something doesn't feel right. Like, is that what she wanted to do? She's clearly scared of me. You're scared of me. I got some vision over here. She roaming hard. Like, what was the point of that roam? Go help the jump there real quick. Secure these void reps. Get some health. Oh shit. Camilla's in danger.
Depending on what location you're in, what kind of people are around you, what kind of family you have. You have to be around people. We have people from
Got him.
people don't care about you. If you're a little weird, you're a little awkward, they won't be around you. All I find myself doing is wishing that things were different and things were better. I'm just tired of feeling this way, you know?
You should have ulti away. She looks salty. It looks salty. Gotcha. Yeah, that's how you do it out here. I know she mad. I feel it. I feel the hatred. Fica quem que chegou. She done? Yeah, let's try. I want to leave, but I got so much cash on me. Who else is good to find this out? The return on that Q took me out. Whatever, at least I got the cash. Gotta slay the dragon. Me and Nunu is just messing it up, yo. Fucking it up. You just fucking it up out here in the jungle. Me and my boy. We got a tower. Let's present this tower instead. Oof. Too close to the sun. And she fucking ignited me, bro. Yeah, need to die, bro. No, no, no. I don't know, guys. This could go either very good for us or hard. I mean, like, we could lose this. The fuck is that? Oh, nice, he killed him. Ba, 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 ba. I'm just here to farm. Oh, we're not even doing that bad on farm too. We got the tower though. This present third tower was hit. Nice. Let's go. bonk them in their heads. Bonk. Go bonk bonk. You need to have a good day. After they're bonking. Hey, what? Would they go for Barry? 6 cents, bro. I don't like to be seen. Damn. Can't hold that. Trash. Oh, Jin died. Hey, we got one. Makes me feel happy. So happy to see him dead. ADC. They got Baron. That's sad. Sad. That is so sad. It's my fault. I should have followed this in instead of finishing I was gonna push. Seven, 2, and 6, bro. I was bopping her earlier. 8, 2, and 6. Can't even keep up. Oh, I killed her. I didn't even think I aimed at her. Low-key huge. Maybe. I'll get my fucking hat. Alright, we got a hat. That Zhonya is just popping us, bro. think we can hunt down this gem, bro. That'd be so cool. Where's the hammer? That's theirs. Can't see. Forest is too dark.
For what it's worth, I know you were young once too, and that, you never meant to hurt me the way you did. I look at you and I wonder, what kind of future will bring me your hand? The moment I was, Skeleton is wasting it.
That's GG's. Alright, it was fun. First gold rank game. I did my best. That's all that matters, right? Gotta give my boy. I guess let's end the stream. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, maybe later today.